Boston, my city. A place where history and modernity collide, where the past and present are in a constant dance. Brick facades and cobblestone streets, history whispering from every corner. Each building, each street, tells a story of its own. I navigate its underbelly, the grime beneath its fingernails, the parts of the city most people prefer to ignore, but where I find my purpose. Cheating husbands, missing persons, insurance scams, the bread and butter of a private investigator's life. I'm Jack Hartigan, and I deal in truths, however ugly. The kind of truths that can shatter lives and rebuild them anew. The case that haunts me? It started like the others, a thread in the city's intricate tapestry of misery. But this one unraveled into something far more sinister. It was a raw December day when Mrs. Eleanor Walsh walked into my office, her face a mask of worry, the kind of worry that seeps into your bones. Her daughter Lily was gone, vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and heartache. 16 years old, last seen a week ago, a young life interrupted, a future put on hold. Eleanor's voice cracked as she spoke, her eyes red-rimmed and pleading. The desperation in her voice was palpable. She thrust a photograph across my desk, a single image that spoke volumes. A teenage girl, all smiles and bright eyes, stared back at me. A picture-perfect moment frozen in time. Little did I know those eyes held secrets darker than I could have imagined. Secrets that would lead me down a path I never expected to tread. Lily had been different lately. Withdrawn, secretive. Her grades plummeted, her laughter silenced. She'd stay out all night, returning with strange scratches on her arms, her eyes holding a distant, unsettling gleam. A mother knows. Something was terribly wrong. Eleanor sobbed, clutching a crumpled handkerchief. I took the case. It was my job, after all, to untangle knots, to bring light to the shadows. But something about Eleanor's raw grief, the sheer terror in her eyes, struck a chord deep within me. I promised her I'd find Lily, a promise I would come to regret. The investigation began like any other, with a case file and notepad, the tools of my trade. I visited Lily's school, a prestigious all-girls academy overlooking the Charles River. The campus was serene, almost idyllic, with its historic buildings and manicured lawns. The whispers started there, in the hallowed halls of academia. Lily had fallen in with a bad crowd, they said, a group of girls who were more than just troublemakers. This group of girls was known for their dark clothes, their aloof demeanor, and their unnerving habit of disappearing into the night. They moved like shadows, slipping away into the darkness, leaving only questions behind. The ringleader, a girl named Clara, was rumored to be trouble. Her reputation preceded her, a mix of fear and fascination. Lily, they said, was enthralled by her. Clara had a magnetic pull, a charisma that drew Lily in like a moth to a flame. I tracked Clara down to a dilapidated house in Southie, its windows boarded up, its paint peeling like scabs. The house stood as a testament to neglect and decay, much like the lives of those who frequented it. She was a wisp of a girl, all sharp angles and dark, knowing eyes. Her presence was unsettling, a mix of fragility and menace. She spoke of Lily with a chilling detachment, a coldness that settled in my gut like a stone. Her words were devoid of emotion, as if Lily was just another pawn in her game, another lost soul in the shadows. Rituals, blood oaths, a hunger that gnawed at Lily's soul. There's a place in the woods, a place where shadows danced and secrets slept. She refused to elaborate, her eyes flickering with fear and something else, something akin to reverence.
Stay away. She doesn't want to be found. She's found her people now, her real people.
Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. I left Clara trembling in that decaying house, her words echoing in my ears, a growing sense of unease tightening its grip on my chest. The abandoned barn was shrouded in an unnatural silence, a silence that seemed to swallow every sound, every whisper of the night. The scent of decay hung heavy in the air, mingled with something metallic, something primal, something that spoke of ancient rituals and forgotten horrors. Inside, the air was thick with the stench of blood and something else, something ancient and evil, a presence that seemed to watch from the shadows. Moonlight filtered through the cracks in the walls, casting eerie shadows and illuminating the scene before me with a ghostly glow. Hay was strewn across the floor, stained crimson, as if a violent struggle had taken place. In the center, a circle was drawn in what appeared to be blood, its lines precise and deliberate, hinting at a dark ritual. And there, kneeling in the center of it all, was Lily, her presence both haunting and heartbreaking. But it wasn't the cheerful face from the picture that stared back at me. Her expression was haunting, devoid of joy and innocence. Gone was the warmth, the light in her eyes, replaced by a void that seemed to consume everything around it. In its place was a chilling emptiness, a hunger that made my blood run cold, a look that spoke of unspeakable horrors and a soul lost to darkness. Lily was pale, her skin almost translucent. Her lips, once full and pink, were now thin and drawn, stained a deep, unnatural red. And her eyes. They were no longer the eyes of a frightened girl. They were the eyes of a predator, glowing with an unholy light, a terrifying mix of power and desperation. She looked at me, and for a second I saw a glimpse of the girl she once was, the girl she no longer wanted to be. "Lily," I whispered, my voice catching in my throat. "My name is Jack. I'm a private detective. Your mother sent me. She wants you to come home." Lily's face contorted in a snarl. She lunged at me, her movements inhumanly fast, her strength terrifying. I stumbled back, fear clutching at my throat. She was gone, the girl I'd come to save, replaced by something monstrous, something I couldn't comprehend. And in that moment, bathed in moonlight and fear, I made a choice. A choice that still haunts my waking hours. A choice that has stained my soul a permanent shade of gray. I raised my gun, my finger trembling on the trigger. The shot echoed in the stillness of that unholy place. A final, desperate act of mercy. Haunted. I left Lily there in that barn, bathed in moonlight and her own blood. I walked away from the truth, from the monstrous reality that had shattered my perception of the world. I lied to her mother. I told her I never found her. The nightmares began that night. Lily's eyes, glowing with an unholy light, haunt my dreams. The metallic scent of blood lingers in my nostrils. The echo of the gunshot reverberates through my every waking moment. Seeking solace, finding none. I drown my guilt in cheap whiskey, seeking solace at the bottom of a bottle. The city, once familiar and comforting, now seems to pulsate with hidden dangers, with secrets lurking in every shadow. I see Lily's face in every crowd, hear her laughter in the wind. My reflection in the mirror is a stranger to me. My eyes, once filled with a jaded hope, now reflect the emptiness that gnaws at my soul. I am a shell of the man I once was, haunted by the memory of the girl I couldn't save, the girl I killed. The weight of silence. The truth, they say, will set you free. But some truths are best left buried, hidden away in the darkest recesses of our minds. The weight of silence is a heavy burden to bear, but it is a burden I carried for years alone. For who would believe the ravings of a jaded detective, a man teetering on the edge of sanity? So I kept my secret, locked away in the vault of my memory. Until one day, after years of grief, forever haunted by the case that broke me, I saw her. Lily was alive. Forever changed. The world goes on, oblivious to the darkness that festers beneath the surface, but I am forever changed. Lily's case, the case that haunts me, has shown me the monsters that lurk in the shadows, the evil that masquerades as innocence. I am no longer the man I once was. I am a detective forever haunted by the supernatural, forever marked and followed now by a girl who, even after all these years, still looks only 16. A vampire. My name is Jack Hartigan, and this is the case that broke me. The case that haunts me still. The case that will haunt me until my dying breath. I can't help think, maybe Lily will come and take my life. And in a way, I hope that she will.